You become what you do repeatedly. You don't become what you avoid. Okay? You become what you do repeatedly. You don't become what you avoid, because we become what we hear, see, and do every single day. But you will never become what you put off, what you delay, what you avoid, what you talk yourself out of. You will never become that, because our lives are literally built on the choices we make now, not the ones we keep postponing. So if you want to shape your future, you actually have to participate in it. You cannot keep postponing it. You cannot keep avoiding it. You cannot keep delaying it. You just can't. So think about what you did yesterday. Think about what you did last week. Think about what you did last month. Think about what you did last year. That is who you are becoming, because you become what you do repeatedly, but you do not become what you avoid.
You stop waiting on the motivation. I don't wake up every day and I'm like, oh my god, I feel so motivated to work. No, I do the work because I have the schedule and I follow my schedule. That's it. Second, discipline over the mood. I don't ask myself, do I feel like it? I ask myself only the one question: did I get it done? If no, you know what I'm doing. Romanticize your hard work. Makeup, nice outfit, clean space, matcha. All these small changes will make your daily routine more exciting and you will actually look forward to that. I do not negotiate with myself. If I promise 3 workouts per week, no excuses, I'm doing 3 workouts no matter what. And finally, you think long term, but you act daily. Your beauty, your health, your success, you building that over years, but every single day matters.
In this life, you can do anything with discipline and consistency. If you put in that work every single day, little by little, you will end up with something big. If you get 1% better every single day, you'll end the year being 37 times better than where you started. So if you feel like you've always set goals and you've never achieved them, or any goal that you're working on right now is just a little bit overwhelming, try breaking it up little by little by little and ask yourself, what can I do every single day, little by little, that will get me to that goal? So you're gonna look up a year from now and be like, wow, I did it.
Coming from a former lazy girl, okay, the only way I actually started to have discipline and be consistent is when I finally realized how you do one thing is how you do everything. I used to waste every single day of my life scrolling for hours, procrastinating my responsibilities, just like avoiding even like the smallest tasks. And I just felt so stuck, so unmotivated, so depressed. And then when I finally realized that how I handled the little things, like setting my alarm, actually waking up to it instead of snoozing it 10 times in a row, making my bed in the morning, going to work out instead of putting it off to the next day. All these things that seem really small, they actually really add up to set the tone for how you do literally anything else in life. Like those small habits, no matter how tiny, they really shape your entire life. And when I finally locked in and started being consistent with those small habits, then I started being consistent with the really big things in my life, like my dream of becoming a YouTuber. I would post every single week. When you're consistent with those small, tiny habits, you start to gain trust in yourself that you can actually handle the bigger things. So here's your sign to lock in and start paying attention to those little habits and start showing up for yourself in those little ways. And I promise you, you will see your life transform.
Stop listening to male motivation to tell you how to get disciplined and be consistent. That's only going to work for very, very minute amounts of time, because us as women are very soft naturally. Like our feminine energy that we exude by our default doesn't like being yelled at. In fact, it makes us feel like damsels in distresses. We go into survival mode and we concave. We don't like that, okay? Long term. Maybe the first week it's working, David Goggins is chatting up and you're like, yeah, this man is talking it. But long term, that's going to be the detriment of your energy and your soul. You gotta be nice. You gotta talk to yourself like you're your best friend. I literally did a 10K run the other day. The whole time I'm running, I'm like, you are the most amazing and incredible woman on this planet. Look at you go. You have asthma. No, in fact, we don't have asthma anymore because you depleted your asthma. Look at you run the entire time. I am the nicest person to myself, because there is not a hope in hell that I am listening to someone call me a fat bitch and that's the reason I'm not getting what I'm meant to be getting. Absolutely not. I'm a queen and I deserve to be spoken to like a queen. That doesn't stop because I'm speaking to me. The same way that I speak to my friends, and then when people are nice and kind to me, I respond so much better. I'm like, oh my God, I wanna give myself to this person. I wanna show them that I can give them all of this, because kindness transcends. Use that as your discipline. The entire time that you just be like, baby, let's get this done. We gotta get this done. And then have a whole plan. Start with the kindness, talking to yourself like you're your bestie. Because remember when our parents used to act all hard and bad when we were younger and we were actually scared, and the older we got, we're like, what are you doing? That's how that runs its course quickly. You're not a man, leave that for the dudes. They thrive in faces like that. We do not, because we're precious damsels. We're literally flowers.
Think of it like, let's say you met a really cool girlfriend and she is just everything, like the way that she dresses, the way that she smells, the way that she speaks, the way that she listens to you, her body, her career, the car, the everything. Imagine you meet her and you are just in awe. And she comes up to you and she was like, I love your vibe, girl. I would love to get lunch with you next week. And then next week comes around, or maybe week comes around, and you don't hear anything from this girl. One, that's kind of gonna hurt, but also it's gonna make you really not trust that girl, because she might have all of the material items in the world. If she doesn't stick to what she says she's going to do and start to form that relationship with you, then you're not really gonna be friends with her. It's the same thing with yourself. If you say you're gonna go to the gym tomorrow and then you don't, you're breaking that self-trust with yourself, which is gonna make it really hard to love yourself again. Reframe discipline into peace and not pressure. When you are disciplined and when you live in a disciplined life, it's not so much pressure to do this and that. If anything, it's a peace. It is less chaos in your life. You don't wake up behind, you don't wake up in chaos. You know what your habits are, and you know those habits are gonna carry you over to that bridge to your dream life, to your glowed up self. And lastly, discipline is freedom. Because here's the thing, you do not have to wait for the perfect mood. You don't have to wait for something to happen to motivate you. You don't need to watch content to motivate you. There's no perfect timing. There's no waiting for motivation to just show up. Discipline is now part of your identity. It is just what you do. Of course, you wake up an hour early to focus on yourself. Of course, you work out every single day. Of course, you get those 10K steps. Like, that's just who you are. That is discipline. For me, I really had to get real about the life that I wanted, and also the harsh reality that the habits and the routines and the things that I was doing now and the mindset that I was doing now, like my future self would not do that. My higher self would not do that. The actions that I was doing didn't align with the actions of her, of that friend in my head that had it all together. I think I was always waiting for motivation, but in reality, all I needed was discipline. Once I realized that I could build discipline one day at a time, and all of those times would compound and get me one step closer to my dream life, everything started to change.
To become the person you want, you must destroy the person you are. To become the person you want, you must destroy the person you are.
You reduce corruption in your life by being disciplined. You have to be disciplined. You have to be following clear instructions so that there is little to no room for bullshit, okay? Life is gonna life, external things are gonna happen, but internally in your own world, you need to make sure that you are following clear instructions and doing things in accordance with maintaining your integrity. This cancels out a whole bunch of nonsense. I feel like a lot of women wonder why they lack confidence, why they don't feel comfortable within their own bodies, why they are constantly comparing themselves, or why they feel disappointment in themselves. A lot of women suffer from things like emotional instability. Why does this happen? This happens partly because of lack of discipline, okay? When you don't have discipline, when you aren't able to tap into that masculine side of yourself to create structures of containment in order for your feminine energy to thrive, of course you are going to be emotionally unstable. But imagine this, okay? You have a container or you have a bowl. That itself, the dish itself, is the masculine. Water is the feminine. When you pour the water into the bowl or into the container, it takes the form of the container. This is the clear instruction. This is the discipline that allows you to stay rooted in integrity. It allows you to be contained. It allows you to be whole, to be undivided. Remember, that is what integrity is. If you don't have the masculine, okay? If you do not have that container, or if you have an unhealthy masculine, meaning you have a container that got holes and cracks in it, what's gonna happen? Water is going to leak through and it's going to spill and make a mess everywhere. If you don't even have the masculine to begin with, which you do, it may just be unhealthy, But imagine if you don't even have that container to begin with. When you pour the water, it's going to splash all over the floor and get on everything, and it's just going to be this uncontrolled mess. It's going to be chaotic. That is what happens when you do not have discipline. You have to have discipline in order to create the container for self-love, for your femininity to flourish, to thrive, to feel safe. Okay? There has to be boundaries, aka clear instructions, aka discipline in place.